Alright guys, so this is going to be a real quick demo on how to do the X grid to lay out your flag. Okay, so what we've got is we've got a 4x6 image. Alright, just to save time, alright, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this out in our drawing paper. We're going to put just a dot at each corner. Okay, then we're going to grab our ruler. And we're just going to connect those dots. Okay, so we can take the time to measure it. Okay, and obviously measuring is something very important, and we will be covering that down the road, but for right now we're just going to go with a time saver. Okay, so now we've got our 4x6 rectangle. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make it what's called an X grid. All right, there's a lot of different types of grids, but this is the easiest one. Again, it involves no measurement. All right, so it's quick and easy. The whole purpose of doing this is that we are breaking our image up into workable sections so that we can draw section by section rather than worrying about one big thing. And then as it comes together and we get those sections done, it's kind of like a puzzle. Every piece fits together and we're good. Okay, the basic formula for an X grid, okay, is, if this is our image, all right, is an X connecting corner to corner, a cross that goes straight up and down and straight across, all right, right through the middle of that X, and then a diamond, all right, that connects those corners of that cross, which essentially gives us 4 X's. All right, the nice thing about an X grid is I can break it down infinitely. All right, so I can, if I wanted to break down like just this section here, all right, I can break just that one section down real easily. I can continue to do that, all right, as much as I need to. If this was a really detailed area, I can keep breaking that down as much as I need to. Okay, so what we've got, all right, by making it 4x6 is we already have something that's proportional. Okay, if it wasn't for that, we'd have to do something called scaling, which again we'll get to later in the year. All right, but we're going to lay this X grid out. All right, and we're going to do this really lightly, okay, because all these grid lines have to be erased when this is all said and done. All right, so corner to corner, I got my X. All right, now what I want to do is this X should be sitting right in the middle of this thing. So actually this is 6.5. All right, so if I go to 3 1/4, all right, and 3 1/4, okay, I can just line it up in the middle, but that just makes sure that that is straight. All right, I go right through the center of that. I go right through the center of this. All right, I've got my X, I've got my cross. Now I can go connect the corners of my cross. Okay, now I've got that grid. That grid is done. All right, now how does that translate to this? All right, well now I have to have the same grid on this. Okay, if I don't do the same exact grid on this, then the whole thing is useless. All right, so what I want is I want a pen, all right, or something a little darker that I can see over top of the color. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go corner to corner. All right, straight across. Okay, straight up and down. And then connect the corners of that cross to make my diamond. All right, so now I've got the same X grid on each of these things. Okay, so how I actually use this, all right, is now, let's say I want to do this grid section. So that grid section is here now. Okay, so I can take this and I can keep looking at this. I can either just take it and say I'm going to lay it out, you know, lay out that where that red stripe goes. All right, but I can also do things like break it down informally. So if I take this, what I've found over all the years that I've been doing this is if you break things in half long enough or enough times, you'll eventually find what you're looking for, or at least close to it. So if I take this line to this line and I visually break that in half, all right, and then I come here and I do the same thing and I make that mark, I can see that my red stripe has to come a little higher. All right, so it's going to adjust here as well. Okay, I can come over here. All right, I can take this line, I can kind of say, okay, that's halfway there. So between here and here, halfway there, between here and here, halfway there. So right there is where my flag, where my red stripe leaves. So if I come here, I say, okay, half, half, half. So this actually extends all the way over here. All right, so by checking that and breaking that grid down informally, I figured out where that goes. Okay, now from there, all right, it makes sense to just go whatever's next to it. So I would move into this grid space. Okay, and based on what I see here, I would draw that in here. Okay, so I look at it, I see where the blue starts to come through, right? Where there's a bend in this flag here, right? So the shape of that changes. All right, and I go from there. All right, so I just start laying out everything one space at a time until when it's all said and done, it should look like that. Okay, again, all your grid lines are going to be erased in the end. All your pencil lines will be going over in color pencil. So everything you do in these first couple steps needs to be done lightly. Okay, so again, all right, when you're doing it, it's going to be an X, a cross, and a diamond. All right, and that's going to give you your X grid. All right, if you guys have any questions about it, just shoot me a text. All right, and we'll figure it out. All right, see ya.